Hi friends, 2023, what a year. So much has happened, so many bad and horrible things have happened in the world, and I'm gonna get back to that at a later point. But today I'm gonna focus on what has happened with my channel this year and my travels and meetings with all these amazing queers that I've had. So let's recap the year. So in January and February last year, I was so tired because, for those of you who don't know, I work with events and I have one big event that happens in January every year. And after that, I am so tired. This job is basically what I do to sustain myself for the rest of the year. And it's so fun, but it's also really tiring. So in January and February, I was very busy with work and then so busy just relaxing and getting my energy back up after that. But I also took a short trip to Copenhagen, Denmark, where I visited Wendian, who is a couch surfing host that I met there, and I stayed with her for the second time, and she also agreed to make a video with me about her experiences growing up as a bisexual person in China. In March, I did my crazy trip to India. It was my first time in the country, and I did like this tourist triangle around Delhi, Agra and Jaipur. I know I just saw a small piece of India, but it was amazing. And in Delhi, I met up with 10 queer people and I made 9 videos about them, and they were so amazing. I don't know what to say about that. It was just so great, and I really recommend you going back and watch these videos because these people are really cool. I also went to Stockholm to visit a friend and his cats, and while there I also made some videos about Ebba, who is a cis woman who's made a top surgery, about Akbar, who is a queer Muslim, and with Xinyi, who is another queer person from China, and with Noel, who is a queer youth leader. So I really enjoyed that cold trip. Then began my Euro trip. I bought an interrail ticket, which means that I could travel for free, but I already paid for it. I could travel with all the trains all over Europe, and I left Sweden with no real plan. I just wanted to see where the queers led me. So I made an open call like, hi, who wants to be filmed? Where can I go? And this trip led me through Germany, France, Andorra, Monaco, Italy, Austria, Czechia, and then back to Germany. And I met up with 19 queers and made videos with them in 7 different countries. I think my highlight was when I have many highlights from this trip. I met so many crazy, amazing people. But one of my highlights was when I was in Austria, in Innsbruck, and I met up with Tulip, who is an internet friend of mine, and they took me up this amazing mountain, and the weather was amazing, and we saw all these mountains, and it was gorgeous. Such a great day. This Euro trip finished in Venlo in the Netherlands, where I was on a conference with the European Forum of Christian LGBTI+ groups. And this is an organization that I have been a part of for like 2 years now. And this year I was actually elected a board member. So since May, I've been the communications coordinator for that organization, which has also been fun and has led me to some travels, which I will share later in the video. I came home from that, relaxed a bit, and then I went to Albania, where I met the first open lesbian person in the country, Sheni. She was really cool and has a very unique story of how she accidentally came out as a lesbian on national TV. If you haven't seen the video, go do that. And then I went to London for Trans Pride. It was my first ever Trans Pride, and it was such an amazing experience. I can really recommend everyone who has the opportunity to visit a Trans Pride because it was so cool. We were like tens of thousands of people marching on the streets of London. Everyone had different kinds of trans flags, and it rained in the beginning, but then the sun came out and everyone was just so happy and angry, and it was amazing walking in a march where everyone marched for me and for my rights. In London, I also met up with 4 queer people who I made videos about, and they were, I think, 4 of my favorite videos this year. I could say that about every video, but these 4 were special. It was about Aryam, who is an Aroese feminist activist from Kuwait. It was Vanit, who has written a book called Bisexual Men Exist. It was Elias, who is the editor of the book This Arab is Queer. That was like a starstruck moment for me to meet up with him. That was really cool. And it was with Cheryl, who was a facade engineer, and I learned so much walking around the streets of London with her and looking at a house that she has helped building. That was really cool. I then spent some months in Sweden just relaxing in what should have been warm weather but was kind of a rainy summer. But I took some swims in nearby lakes and I relaxed with my partner in the countryside. And I also went to like a camp kind of for Christian queer people, and there I made videos with Lasse and Kjell Renato, and yeah, they talked about their experiences as Christian gay men, and that was kind of nice as well. And from there I went to Stockholm Pride, which was very overwhelming. It was very hot. I had really nice days there, but I was really tired and, as I said, overwhelmed. So I did enjoy it a lot, but it wasn't like my highlight of the year. But I met some amazing people, made some videos there as well, and watched like half of the parade. It was very commercial and very long, but yeah, still a nice experience, as always, watching a Pride parade, I think. I then made my last like big trip of the year. I was going to the Caucasus, but first I had a layover in Poland, in Warsaw, and I had been to Poland many times and I love Poland, but I had never been to Warsaw before. So I went into the city and I met up with Xaveri, who is a trans guy who runs a company called Where's Willy, and he makes penises, like prosthetics. And it was really cool. We met in a park and he brought these penises that he showed me, and he was just really cool. And I love when trans people, like when we take matters into our own hands and like create products that we need and we know best, right? I then went to Armenia, where I spent a full day with a drag family there. They're not a drag family anymore, but they were when I was there. It was Leo, Diana and Remy. And they were so welcoming to me and let me just hang out with them in an apartment the whole day. And they had a cat, and I love cats. As soon as I see a cat, I melt. And they were really nice to me, and we made 3 videos about them, and yeah, it was really cool. And then I went on to Georgia, where I met up with Coco, who is a performer there, and they were also really, really cool. And they vogued for me in the middle of a park in downtown Tbilisi, Georgia. That was really cool. And I also went up to the mountains to trek a bit in the mountains, and that was also really awesome. I then went on to Azerbaijan. I didn't make any video there, but I stayed with a gay couple from Russia who had moved to Azerbaijan to leave the, what's going on in Russia. And they were so nice to me, and they had really amazing stories to share, but unfortunately not to my camera. But I'm really grateful for that experience anyway. And then came my first trip with this board that I talked about, the European Forum of LGBTI+ Christian Groups. We had a board meeting during EuroPride in Malta, so we spent a long weekend in Valletta in Malta, and we visited some events there, and we also organized an event, and we had board meetings, and I stayed a day extra to film 3 queer people. So I met up with Lyric, who talked about accessibility at Pride, which is really important. I met up with Venus, who is a super cool drag artist there, and I met up with Ramon, and I haven't published that video yet, so stay tuned for that. So in October I started working for this big event again that I talked about in the beginning of the video. Like I said, it's an event that I do every year in January, so since October I've worked with that, and that means that every year my video production goes down because I don't have as much energy for that in the fall. So since October I haven't published that much, but I've managed to do 1 trip, which I was really happy about. It was also a trip with this board. We went to Italy for a day, basically to visit the location for next year's conference. But I came there 1 day early to make a video with Morgan, who is a drag king in Milano, and then I went on to Tunisia and worked from there for a week because I just really wanted some sun. And in Tunisia I also made a video about Max, who is a gay man living in Tunis, and I haven't published that video yet either, but stay tuned for that. That was my year with the channel. Of course, a lot of other things have happened in my life and in the world and in the queer community of the world of 2023, and maybe I'll get back to that in another video. As I said, just some numbers to finish this video up. I published 81 videos about queers from 38 countries. My most watched video was the one about Vaibhav and Rahul in Delhi in India. 15,000 people have watched this video. And I can see why. They are super cute. Most of my viewers are from the US, like 20%, and from India, like 17%. Thank you, American and Indian viewers, for being here. But in total, over 113,000 people have seen my videos. So thank you so much for watching. And even if these numbers, like they are important to me, and I love looking at them to see that what I'm doing together with all these queer people that I meet, like it actually means something. Like people see the videos and I know that it means something to people because they comment and they are really touched by these people's stories and they help them. So like the numbers do mean something to me, but I know that what means the most isn't how many people watch the videos or from how many different countries or how many videos I do. Like the most important things for me like are the meetings, and I'm so humbled that people want to meet up with me and share these things with me, and I am really growing as a human being through these people that I meet and get to talk to, and I'm so grateful for every single person who wants to meet up with me and share a part of their life with me. Okay, maybe one more thing. I've mentioned that I want to be transparent about the financials of the channel, and it's awkward to be transparent because it quickly turns into like me asking for money, because I do not make a single cent from this channel. I have like 10 euros per month as an income from ad revenues. I have around 10 euros per month as an income from my patrons who support me, and as you understand, 20 euros per month doesn't get me anywhere. So I spend a lot of money and obviously time and energy on this channel, and I really enjoy doing that. Don't get me wrong, like this is like I said, this means so much to me and I really love doing it. But if you feel like you have something and you want to support the channel, it would really mean a lot. It would mean that I can spend more time doing this, meet more people, and my goal in the future is to be able to pay the people that I interview. That is really far into the future. I would need to make a lot more money before that could happen, but that is my end goal. So if you feel like you can support the channel, you can do that like as a monthly subscriber on Patreon, or you can give a one-time donation on Ko-fi. The links are down below. Please consider doing that if you have the means to do it. With those words, thank you so much for 2023. Thanks for being here. You are amazing. You are so valid, and you are such an amazing human being. See you in 2024.